Hello. This is going to be like kind of a long video, and I know no one's gonna watch it for a while, but I wanted to get this done so that way when people start realizing that mutiny is something to pay attention to, and the founder's story that's intertwined with mutiny, um, they might be like, is this story real? So I'm doing this video unscripted, and the reason this, after watching this, you'll realize why Mutiny was very scripted, because I needed to follow and it's hard for me to stay on track. So I have this, yeah, this is just the notes, so it's a long story. I'll probably break it up later, but and you'll hear stuff, you'll hear coughing, interacted. You'll hear coughing, probably some noises that are going to happen as I do this. That will be my family trying to get me all upset and everything, because they know it works and it has before, but not anymore. So now that is out of the way. Let's begin. So, as you know from Mutiny, that the police are monitoring me and stuff like that. And because there were a bunch of incidences in the show that that happened. So, why would they monitor me? I know that's everybody's question. Why would they monitor me? And it all began at my grandmother's house in California. She lived in Newport Beach, and or Orange. See, did you hear that one? That's the one. Let's count, shall we? Now there's only gonna be like one or two, but let's count. That was Eli. That was my nephew. So that's one for Eli. This will be fun. If they do it. If they don't do it, then it's just a stupid thing. But at least it's there. So then we have. She lives in Newport Beach. Or she lives in Newport Beach, in Laguna Beach, is where she had I'm trying to do too much, I need to just focus on this. Okay, start again. So, oh yeah. So you might want to ask, like, why are the police monitoring me? And it all started in my grandmother's house. Because I realized that her best friend that was a realtor was taking advantage of her. And she obviously was not, but I didn't, well, first I didn't say that. I had my suspicions. Because there would always be, first of all, an elderly woman that, my fan's on, there's not a ghost. First, an elderly woman that, had her best friend, a realtor, should have drawn up some questions. And they did in me at least, but I wasn't going to accuse anybody of anything. Yeah. Because she would always, my grandmother had two properties that one was a bridal shop and one was art gallery by one painter, not multiple painters. I don't know, it doesn't really make a difference. But that's the case. One day there would always be conflicts between the two, and I thought that was strange because they both seem nice, you know. It doesn't, like, I don't know, it just seemed weird. So, because she would never go down there, she would always be the realtor would always be the solution. So the realtor would be like, "Oh, don't worry, Elaine," da, 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 because Elaine is her name, my grandmother, and so she would always tell me, like, "Oh, this happened as a story, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Oh, that sucks." Like, but I also had my suspicions, so it wasn't really that like, "Oh my god." So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So one day though, she was really in a frenzy because she was like that there was a black man that was a friend of the painter, because the painter would often paint outside, being like a marketing, it was a good marketing idea, because if you have a gallery, you're going to paint by and it was the stores were on PCH, and the other side was a beach. So he would paint in front of the store, and the beach was on the other side, so people could see him painting and then go see his work. What a good idea. So, and his friend, who was black, would often sit on the little, where the bushes were, and watch him. So, she said that that guy was holding up the bridal store with a gun. Now, my ex is black, and I know the last thing a black person would do would hold up a bridal store in Laguna Beach, let alone hold a water gun. So I was like, that's bullshit. Like, she's using you. That's when it was just like, okay, and now there's no like suspicion. It's enough is enough. Like, I was guaranteed that I knew for sure. Proving it, I still had to do, but I knew for sure that she was using her. Sorry if I'm not looking at the lens. I haven't really done any of the episodes yet, obviously. So, just side up. And then I was like, I'm gonna go down and prove it to you. So, she's like, no, don't do that, don't do that. And so I was like, fine, I won't go. I'm gonna go to the gym. And then I didn't go to the gym. I obviously went. And then when I got there, I drove by. I saw there were no cars. There were cars. There were no like commotion going on. So I was like, okay. So I parked my car, and then there was a police officer, a patrol car. Oddly, coincidentally, like right on the other side of the store, kind of looking where the store is, but not like that was all. It wasn't like they were outside with their guns out, like, So I parked, and then I went up to the police officers. And I was like, excuse me, like, roll down the so, and then they rolled down the window, and then so I was like, okay, so have you gotten any calls about the stores on the other side of the street on the complex over there? And they're like, no, why? What? Because the cops are not just gonna be like, what? They're gonna be like, what? What do you mean, like, So I was like, I'm gonna say the G word, gun, but I don't want you to freak out, because I don't think that there's anything to freak out about. So I explained the whole situation to them, which I was trying to avoid having to do, just like doing this video. And then, because explaining shit's so hard for me, I'd rather just know it. My brain doesn't work like you people's. So, fuck. And I'm not gonna edit any of this so people can like see it as it's actually fucking linear thinking is hard. So, and then they left, and I was thinking, okay, why? I was like, okay, I guess. But now that I look at it, I didn't really think anything of it before. I was like, okay, well, I guess it's just safe for me to go over, right? That's what I figured. But now that I look back at it, not only was it safe for me to go over, but whatever the area was going on, like, they're like, okay, whatever might happen here, it's kind of like, nothing's gonna happen, because this person's like, wait, okay, like, maybe there might be someone that runs a stop sign, but we don't, or they were like, whatever's gonna happen, we don't want it to be a part of unless we have to. So they left. Wait, either one is funny if you think about it. I went over and I went to the bridal store, and there was her, like, by the cash register was here. I opened the door, and she had some customers, and her face was, when she saw me, was like this. So I was like, okay. Because I don't go to those stores. Naturally, why would I? My grandmother's a landlord, but I don't want to go over there. Like, I'm not, like, hanging out over there. So she saw me, and she's like, okay, whoa, landlord's grandson's here. This is not good. So she's like, I have customers. I'll be right with you. I'm like, okay, I'll wait. So she's like, shit, he's going to actually wait. And then it's going to be a lot more entertaining if I, just read people's minds and do what they're thinking. So She's like, oh shit. And then I go back and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna stand by the door, because what if someone has to leave? So, because she was like, I think that's what she said. No, I just thought of that. And then, oh yeah, no, she said, well, the people, they're changing in here. She's like, oh, girls changing in here. Well, there's a changing room, I'm sure, but it's like, I know, understand that she might come out. I don't know. So it's like, okay, well, I'll just go behind here where I can't even see the changing room, and it's fine. Because you do have a huge glass window right here, so regardless, if I just go, so basically, she was trying to get me to leave, and I was able to accommodate to whatever she was trying to do because I can tell whatever. I digress. So then I was waiting, and I was kind of just like, and then not caring what she was saying because I was figured she would say something about weddings and stuff. When I noticed that the customers were looked at each other and looked at her and had a really weird face on them, like, what is she talking about? And I was like, that's maybe, what did she just say? That was weird. And then I went into my like subconscious memory and I realized that she said, I'm just a small business owner. I'm not trying to take advantage of anybody. I was like, oh shit, I need to start recording. So, and I have a recording, an audio recording of this taking place. So, then once the customers left, I asked her, man, I'm sorry. The fact, because my nephew's hearing this, or he was, and he was wanting me to stop doing it too. I'll explain the coughing, because I picked up a bad habit. So, that's why coughing, they think, will make me feel bad, but it doesn't. So, I don't, they can't make me feel bad about anything because I have no respect for them. I don't. Not after what they did, which I'll get there. So, then I asked her if she was like, oh, have the police been called today? She's like, no, not today. Well, I'll put the recording on, attached her later, I think, but or underneath or something. I'll figure something out. I put it online on the website. So where this video is, you'll find it. If you need to find it, you'll find it. If you want to find it, you'll find it. I'll make it easy for you. So, then she was like, no. And then I was like, well, have they been called like recently? Because my grandmother's getting a lot of those calls. And she's like, well, I don't know. Because at that point, she was like, okay, I should probably call Patty before oh, I'll show you everybody's card. Because, the truth needs to be out and there needs to be, ramifications need to be dealt with, whatever the public feels like they need to do. Oh yeah, so she's like, oh shit, I probably should, I'm not gonna try to be political and open-ended answers and stuff like that. And then my grandmother comes in in a frenzy, and she thought I was getting gay bashed, which if you don't know about Laguna Beach, it's like the West Hollywood of Orange County, or the Village thing, East Village, or that one in New York, whatever Village something, the Villages, no, that's here. That's the old person one here, but you get what I'm saying. There's a lot of gay people there, so gay bashing would not be an issue. But and then I realized that that's what con artists do. They use people's own prejudices against them, and so that way they're all fearful. Oh no, what I'm talking about. I mean, you're not here, so I can't answer. You can't say, yeah, I know, right, man. So there's that, and then oh yeah. So she was trying to calm her down. She's calm her. She's like, it's okay, Alan. It's okay. It's okay. He's fine. No, There's not, you don't like, you said, you go, no, you laugh, like, why? You thought I was getting gay bashed? I'm fine. Like, why did you think that? If something is not as it is, when someone thinks it is, it's not about calming the person down. It should be about addressing why they thought it was the way they thought. Period. Um, and that's something my family has never understood, which I'll get to in a while. So then I was like, she was trying to distract me from she was trying to just like calm Atlanta and distract me. And every time I was trying to like explain to her, like, why did you come here? I was just about to get what we needed to get out of. Like, you can't, I was trying to fucking, anyways. But so I was like, I can't prove anything being here, so I'm gonna go talk to the painter. So I started talking to him, but he was listening to music. So the audio, if you listen to the recording, is not as clear as one inside the store. Um, but I was just basically asking if anything, any conflict has been happening between him and the Prada store. And he had no clue that the realtor was spreading this nonsense. So I felt bad for the guy, really. So, so I really don't. Obviously, he knew something weird was happening because, like, the landlord and our grandson is here and he's asking questions. So, like, he knew something was up, and I didn't want to be like, I was just like, he was saying, they're saying, like, really bad things about you guys. I don't want to say it because, like, I don't want to hurt them. So, I was like, but I'm trying to sort it out. Don't I feel so bad now. I said, don't worry about it. I'll sort it out. And he probably got evicted, and poor guy. But so yeah, we just ended up talking about movies and stuff because he knew I went to film school and stuff. Um, and we were talking about, yeah, never mind. So that's pointless. Anyways, so then she comes out and she starts talking, and you hear her, and she's talking about like the rent and everything and stuff like that, which he's, I forgot what it was. I think he was a little late, but he always, it was the thing is, what I didn't understand about the situation is she pulled my grandmother's leg to let him be the renting, which is more of a property manager thing than a realtor thing, since she already owned the property. But she was the realtor that had sold her the property. But then she also became more of the manager. So, but I don't know enough about their agreement to know like what she got paid for and stuff. Because my grandmother thinks she could have handled it herself, I guess. But so then we left. Everything ended, and she started crying in her car. Oh my god, if anybody's still watching this, I'd be so amazed. So then she was crying in her car, and I realized then now that she realized that was right, and her best friend was using her, and she was brokenhearted, and I get that. But then she said, prove it. I mean, what do you mean prove it? Like, you thought there was the black person, the black friend of the painter, was holding up the bridal store. And they're not, he's not. Why would she lie to you? She lied, you caught her in a lie. That should have been enough. You were right. She's weird. I don't know how she's using me. But you're right, she is somehow. Because you don't lie. You don't make somebody think there's someone holding up on property of hers when there isn't. Unless if she's just a really fucking racist. But she wish she could be. But so but in the real estate is kind of, there's kind of shady characters in that business. So I was like, I don't know, but I'll be a realtor. I don't know how she's using you, but I'll be a realtor. I'll go to school, take the classes, whatever. I know it takes like fucking 6 months and stuff, which is ridiculous because you can get it done in 1 month. But they make you wait for like 3 weeks between each class. He's like, why? Fucking stupid. Anyways, because they want you to pay for the classes, and then hopefully that you don't continue and you have already paid for the classes. Like I said, fucking shady people. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I was like, I'll do it, and I was almost done. I was almost done. I was about to take my exam, but my dad came. Um, I didn't ask him to come. Oh yeah. So, um, yeah, I was jumping around in my head again. Um, so then I came here, and it wasn't until later I would realize that there was a page missing from my writing notebook from a character breakdown with the character's development on it. So I just thought my grandmother, because I'm OCD, from obviously from the show, and I would be OCD a lot, and she would always be like, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" And I said, like, don't worry, like, I've had to deal with this my entire life. Like, if you're scared for your safety, I'm telling you, don't be. Like, I'm not gonna, like, hurt you. No OCD person's like, yeah, they're crazy, but they don't, because I mean, I would take everything out of my room, and then I would sweep it, and then I would mop it, vacuum it. I mean, like, extent for really, um, yeah, it's bad when that happens. Um, But I don't think it'll ever happen again anymore. Because now I know how everything works. I know what I wasn't saying before. Um, so, um, which is my dad. The reason why my dad came is the same reason why I'm OCD. My dad has never ever understood me. And there has been the reason why he has never understood me was because there has been one thing he neglected to see. When I was 2 years old, my mom got really sick, and apparently she only had a 2% chance to live. And my grandmother was here, so I'm going to go into time travel now. So I was going into the hospital with my grandmother, and we were in the hallway, and I remember when we went, I had like this gray teddy bear, and I really miss it. I only remember it that day, and there's a feeling attached to it that, and I don't know where it is. I never saw it afterwards, but there was a great teddy bear and a fake doctor kit. Because I'm somewhere in the hospital, we could pretend like the teddy bear was our patient. So I was bringing that stuff up back to the room afterwards, and I was going in with my grandmother. My dad came out, and he squatted down, and he put his hands like on my shoulders like this, or one would look like that because of what my his arms wouldn't have been crossed. You know what I'm saying? So he looked at me in my eyes, and he said, "I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to do this alone." And I remember my dad only talks to his children when he's telling them something, like to do something. He's not like, "Oh, so how's your day?" He's maybe said that, but he's never been like, "Why did it?" He might have said, "How was your day?" but he's never said, "Why was it that way?" He asks enough question to seem polite, but to avoid ever being accused of not caring. But he doesn't actually care, or else he'd be like, "Why was it bad?" or so forth. But I digress. So then oh yeah. So I was like, okay, mom's gonna like leave. I guess it's just gonna be you raising us. Okay. Then, because I'm just trying to figure out the situation. I saw my mom in the hospital bed. So I go in. um, and my mom, some things I know for sure were said like that, and some I am just placing in what must have probably been said. And, like, "Oh, what do you got there, honey?" I'm like, so talk, because I didn't talk that much. Um, but I was only like 2, maybe even younger. Um, And then I remember I got the knee reflexor. Um, and then She's like, oh, so I guess she's like, I think that's for money or something like that. But for some reason, I didn't do anything with that. So I put it back in the thing. I'm guessing maybe it was too high because I was like tried to hit her knee and I couldn't hit my knee because I had to put the hand like it was hard for me to But I remember because I still think my mind is still my dad's have to raise me alone and she's in the hospital bed. I was trying to understand the situation. Um, so um, then I saw she had a band-aid. She's like, oh, probably like, oh, just put a band-aid on like me or whatever. Oh, let's just use a band-aid. Just put the band. She's like, oh shit, those are gonna be hard for him to do. Oh, there's a band-aid. Um, and just get a band-aid, honey. And then she put it right here, right here. Because I remember the IVs, and then right here, and then she said, I'm gonna get better now. And then I always thought she said I was gonna get better now because of you, but that was just me thinking that because of what my dad said. Now, there's no way my mom could have possibly ever known that my dad said that. But her saying that made me think the reason, and she had a 2% chance to live, made me think the reason why, and so like you get, and they say kids are very perceptive of what goes on around them. And so I could have sensed like something was different, really serious too. Um, so um, she didn't though. She didn't die. She survived. But I put a band-aid on her. I thought that because I put that band-aid on her, she survived. So for 5 years, I was by her side. Um, and whatever she needed, I was there. I was in every sense of the word a mama's boy. But not because I feel like that's not even appropriate because a mama's boy would do whatever I get mom's like approval or like, but no, I guess it would be word. It would be the same, but my mom wasn't like telling me what to do. It was just like I was always with her. Um, but so bad that when kindergarten started, um, I had really bad. I would cry every day, and it wasn't separation anxiety. Because separation anxiety is like, oh my gosh, she's gone, and I don't know what to do. And then they realize, oh, it's safe here. Like, I'm not gonna die. I don't need my mom. Okay. So they stop crying once they realize that they're fine without it. I cried every day so hard that the teacher had to make me sit outside in the hallway till I wore myself out, which would often be around lunchtime. And see, one cough. I knew there would only be one cough. So, what was I saying? Cleo! It's fine. Thanks for letting me know, but it's fine. So, what was I saying? Like you can tell me. Oh yeah. So, I wore myself out, and then I would finally go back in that classroom, and I remember first, I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened, what was going through my head when she left every day. I thought she just disappeared. I didn't think of death. I couldn't have possibly known about death, but I knew the concept of it because of what my dad said. And I thought she just disappeared forever, and I had failed. For some reason, me being next to her, like being there for her, was my job. And me doing my job, I was the reason why she didn't just disappear. Or somebody, I don't know if I just thought it was me. Maybe I thought it was just me. I don't know if I thought anybody, because I don't think there was ever a moment for those 5 years prior that one of the other siblings was with her. I was with her, except bedtime, which I often crawled into bed. I would squeeze in between my mom and my dad, which a lot of kids probably do. Um, but there was never a moment where, during the day, where I wasn't with her. No, there was. There had to been. Um, but not often. So, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. Um, so when kindergarten started, and then, oh, yeah. There was we went to a Catholic school in St. James. Um, and there was a wooden door with a small little window. It looked like a medieval door. And I remember sitting there crying all morning for a year, so much that I couldn't see. It would just be like water. And I would look at the door. Oh, fuck. That's hard. And I would look at the door and just hope that I was wrong and she would walk in. That I was hoping that just waiting for that door to open and her to be there. But she wouldn't. And eventually I would just wear myself out and then I would go back in. It was always after like right for nap time. Because there was English and then math and then, or reading and math. And so I was able to go to the other teachers. That's not important. So I'd always go, remember that there was like, if you ever seen Kindergarten Cup, you know how there's like that huge window that goes like all the way to the ground? I was gonna go all the way to the ground. There were like things right there. So I couldn't really see, but like, you know, for some reason kindergarten rooms always have a whole wall as a window. Why is it after first, second, it's always just like normal, like kind of like prison looking windows? But kindergarten rooms always have like, you know, those big windows. So I remember I would like look out the window and I would wait for my mom, and she wouldn't. I would wait till the last day, last fucking minute, and she wouldn't show up until we had to line out the door there because there's that medieval door. And I was like, she's gone, and like, and then when I walked out the door, she was standing by the gate. I mean, every fucking day was like it's this movie climatic, like normal. It wasn't like, oh, normal, like, oh, so it wasn't like some days. And I think that has to do with a lot of the symbolism of it in my head, that there was an exact time every time she came back. It wasn't like sometimes I would see her and sometimes I wouldn't out the window. There was an exact moment every time. So it's like, I failed. I get one more chance. So, um, she decided that I should repeat kindergarten, the teacher and her. And instead of addressing the issue why I cried the whole first year outside, which to this day, Miss Burford probably has not had a student that has cried every day, every morning for the entire year that she had to have him sit out in the hallway. And I remembered, I didn't fail. I remember like, oh, you have to fail. I remember trying to process like having to like repeat the grade. I was like, okay, I'm not stupid. It's because I was crying, and that means like there's something wrong with me. Not that, you know, there's a difference between like, oh, you failed the grade because you just don't get it. Like, okay, yeah, that sucks. But there are a lot of people that are slow. It's okay, it happens. But there's fundamentally something that was wrong with me, which ostracized me from everybody my entire life. I've never felt like I fit in anywhere. So, and yeah. So they addressed it. They just wanted to stop the problem. They didn't, like I said earlier, people don't, there's something, when someone is thinking something wrong, like you address what was, what they thought was happening. Like if obviously I knew my mom was always gonna, like, she didn't want to leave me. I always knew she did not want to leave me. She loved me. There was no question in my mind that she had, if by her will, like people were like, I'm gonna get you, like why are you crying? Like mom always comes back. I know you think that, but I also, because I thought I was the reason. So the fact that she didn't die, when I thought, when my dad thought she was going to, there's no question, either, which is the thing, either he's a liar or we have no control over, like, what was both. That was the truth. But I took what he said as fact, because he's my dad. He must know. And then he doesn't. So just because you want to, he didn't want to raise me alone, and he didn't. You don't want, you always want to come back. Doesn't mean you will. So at a very early age, I had to deal with the concept of like, okay, yeah, but you're gonna die. Because there could have been a day where I did leave her and I did lose her, and she could have gotten hit in a car accident. But a 5-year-old is not supposed to think about that every time he goes to school. But because my dad never said like, or because my dad actually never just, because why he said that, this is the whole thing. My problem with my dad is he said it to soothe his own emotions. He thought, and I understand, he thought he was losing his wife, but you look to your, and you see the kid looking at your wife in the hospital bed, and you think to yourself, man, I really feel bad about raising him alone. And then maybe at my graduation or wedding, over a drink, he says, you know what, son? I'm sorry I had to do this alone. That's when you fucking say it. You don't say it when the kid is trying to understand the fucking situation he's in. He is so fucking self-absorbed, selfish little fucking prick. He deserves what's coming to him. So, I got that out of the way, I'm sorry, but anyways, they all do actually, especially the fucking little one. So, somebody's gonna be known for something he wished he wasn't known for. Sorry. So, where was I? Oh yeah. So, then kindergarten, let's see what the kindergarten realized. Oh yeah. It gets better. My mental problems don't just stop with crying. Yeah, so my mom started volunteering at the school. I would see her at lunchtime. So I was like, okay, there was a fix. There still wasn't just the issue that I had. It made me feel like the reality was adapted to my false sense of reality. What was false about my sense of reality was never addressed. Then I was fine and so forth. 5 years later, I'm like in 5th grade or whatever. I have my best friend Felicia. 2 fucking peas in a pod. Had a really big imagination. And we would always she would play my imagination. Like I would tell her what we were doing, and give her direction basically. And we'd be like witches. We'd be like Power Rangers. No, we were never Power Rangers. Animorphs, where we morph into animals and stuff like that. So, oh my god. I wish I could time travel, literally see that. And we would to talk. Oh man, I miss her. Anyways, so middle school came around, like 6th grade. She had to move. I don't remember that happening. Um, I know it did happen, and I remember meeting my best friend that kind of replaced her, um, through acting out a scene. The Harry Potter troll in the dungeon. I thought you ought to know, and I fell on the ground, and I thought I was all by myself in the classroom, but Joyce was there. She's like, "Oh my god, I love that movie." Anyways, that's like memory. That's the first time. I don't remember anything like before that. But I also had a concussion. Um, so that but no, because I remember waking up. Yeah, totally different story, unrelated. But I don't remember Felicia leaving, is what I wanted to address. So it must have been so hard for me, that I don't remember getting the news. But I was OCD before Joyce, I was OCD, like ritualistic OCD. I would open and close doors 3 times. If there was a spot, like a dried up piece of gum, like when we would go to Disney Springs now, used to be downtown Disney, to go see the movies. My imagination and the movies got me out of reality because I couldn't understand the reality I was in. No wonder no wonder why I have to do that as an adult. But I remember there would be like a thing, and I would kind of go like that with my foot 3 times. I'd even bend down. I don't think I scratched it. Maybe I did, but I was also really germophobic. I think I just went like that, like down, went like that. And then I would walk away, and then go back and do it a 3rd time. I wanted to make sure it wasn't something I wanted. Even when I knew it wasn't something I wanted, because it was fucking just a piece of gum, even if it was like, I don't know, I wouldn't want. There's no way, but I had to do it 3 times to make sure. That's why I think 3, and you know what they say, first is an anomaly, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is an intelligent intervention. So, there must be something about the universe where the universe doesn't let anything happen more than 3 times. So if you get it to happen 3 times, then that has to be the Tesla did everything in 3s. So, and he's kind of a smart guy. So that has probably something to do with the collective unconscious, something to do with the human psyche. But anyways, so what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I was the worst of it was we took a trip to Europe, I think. I know we took a trip to Europe. But we went in Switzerland, and we had the trunk in our rental car was open. And we must have driven like 45 minutes. And I noticed it was open, and I was so panicking that we lost something. Oh yeah. And then there's also a huge memory when I was at the beach with my mom and almost drowned, and I had a measuring cup. And then I want to do this fast before I forget where I was before. And then she almost drowned, undercurrent took me, and then I lost the measuring cup, and she saved me. And I was crying. She's like, it's okay, I saved you. And I go, no, I know, but I lost her cup. And I remember looking out into the ocean and seeing this orange measuring cup slowly drop. So I had an issue with losing things and getting over and so forth. Losing something that I thought I could have and having it disappear forever. Like, I don't know, my mom dying. So, and I acting like that one Lewis Black, Lewis Black on the on the David Show. He kind of talks like that, like I believe that. So, anyways, where was I? Okay. Oh yeah. So, I was losing something. My best friend, OCD. So I basically was like, okay, I needed to make sure I wasn't losing anything, basically. But I lost my best friend. Joyce came, and then they didn't have me go to anybody. Oh, Switzerland. So I was like, okay, when my dad's like, okay, well, let's get everything out of the car, make sure everything's there. And we did. And everything was there. But I couldn't. I was like having a panic attack. I needed us to go drive all the way back to the border so I could sit in the front and scan the road, making sure we didn't. And I tried to do it like really quickly, so I could do it 3 times before like we like passed by. So, and they didn't get me to see anybody, because it's just like I don't know, like if it's because of the Catholic thing or whatever, but just hide it. There's nothing. Just ignore it. Yeah, it's not normal. We'd rather just deal with a mentally ill child than try to fix it. Because if we tried to fix it, then we have to actually admit there's something wrong. But let's just say, oh, it's kind of cute. Oh, he's quirky. No, quirky is like Steve Urkel is quirky. I was not quirky. I had a problem that was never fucking addressed. So, then, let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, and then I moved to LA. And, well, first, yeah, the OC thing solved, or went away, sort of, when I had my best, like, high school friend. And, but it was more, I've always obsessed about everything. It became more internal. Like, I didn't, ritualistic, but, I have everybody will tell you I obsess about everything. Even Joyce is like, oh my God. Because I always be like, you mean so much to me, Joyce. Like, da, da, da. She's like, okay, fine. Like, no, you don't understand. So, man, and Nick. Anyways, I digress. Anyways, no one. What is this? 47 minutes? No one's gonna watch this. So, but it's here. And that way, they stop doing. Hopefully, this will stop them. Oh yeah, no, this is also for my lawsuit and stuff. So it'll be a lot easier if I just show this video, right? So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I went to LA, and then anybody can tell you, oh my God, look. Hopefully, there's some footage of footage, some security. But no, it's still footage when it's security, of the airport of me leaving. My mom at the age of 27. It looked like I was going off to war. For like I was getting like sent on a draft. I had like my bag. I was going to the airport. I was looking back. My mom's in tears. I'm in tears. It's like it's literally like I'm just becoming an adult basically. So that's when I realized that if I was just taught like, oh, you had nothing to do with mom being here, the Band-Aid didn't do anything, then I would have been in LA at the age of 18 when like Eli was born. Because I've been like, hey, like I even had my driver's license from when that happened, because I thought that was gonna happen, but then he was born and circumstances like I thought I thought my personal interest of what I wanted to do with my life was secondary to what the family needed. Boy, was I misinformed. So, now then, 27, I left for LA, and I finally saw reality that wasn't manipulated for me, to calm my nerves. I saw things how they are, and nothing was trying to accommodate, and that's exactly how it is here. Again, everything they're doing all sorts of things just so I see a reality that they know is real, but they want to convince me of a different reality, because my dad does not want to come and face the fact that maybe He shouldn't have said what he said. Maybe he's a little fucking selfish prick that only thinks about solving his own emotions and that feel bad about him. Like, oh my god, this emotion, this emotion makes me feel ugly. I need to get rid of it. Oh, I'm gonna tell him I feel sorry about having to raise him alone. I feel sorry about having to raise you alone. Oh wow, that feels better. I don't feel like gross anymore. Well, deal with it. That's fucking being a person. Fucking A. I can't. So, but he doesn't want to deal with that. Again. Because the same reason why he can't deal with it now is the same reason why he couldn't deal with my mom almost dying. He cannot deal with his emotions. And that's something that were caused by his mother. So, maybe he should stop trying to fucking look at me and look over in California where it all fucking started. Anyways, but I digress because I'm getting to how it started there. Remember the teared paper I only realized that because when I came back or I went to LA, so now the timeline's kind of spoopy. So now I go back to LA. Now you know that my dad had just got to me, right? So now I'm back here, and everybody's fucking weird, really weird, and I don't know why. Till one day I felt like such wait, no, because my dad catfishing me. Oh yeah, so everything was like really weird, and I want to say no, yeah, that happened. It was right next to each other, where I tried to kill myself. I didn't try. I was about to kill myself. Meaning, trying is like someone caught you in there. You got into the hospital and then, you're fine, or you vomit and you're fine. You tried to. The fact they tried to is another thing. Like, okay, maybe there's something we need to address that you tried to fail because you want attention. Yeah, probably. Because it's not that hard to kill yourself without. Like, it is really not that hard to kill yourself. But people try to because they really don't want to. They want attention. But if you really wanted to kill yourself, you would go on top of a bridge on a highway, take some wire snappers, cut the fucking thing, and just jump. It's not that fucking hard. Anyways, so I didn't try to. I was about to. And I didn't because my dad had been catfishing me because everybody was acting fucking weird, and I mean fucking weird. So I wanted to get out of the situation any way I could, and so in LA I was an escort. So I was in an escorting website, or where you meet clients, should I say. So thought I was talking to a potential client when it was my dad. And it took me a long time to realize that it was my dad until he had me do embarrassing videos. And his friend, who was living here with us for COVID, would often say things that were like in relation to the embarrassing video, and kind of like he was like bullying me basically. But then I was like, okay, like I said, 1 time is anomaly, 2 times is a coincidence, 3 times is intelligent design. Happened 3 times. So I knew my dad was catfishing me. Now, it bothered me so much. Why? Oh, yeah, and this is where the cops get involved. Because I threatened my dad. I know it's bad, but I said, if I can't leave here, I'm going out the only way I know how, and if I do that, I'm taking dad with me. Text that to my mom. My mom was with my brother. My brother is a fucking prick. And, yeah, okay, so my brother, he's going to school for being like psychiatry and stuff. So he called the cops instead of talking to me. So instead of trying to actually do what you go to school for, he called the cops. Obviously, his intention isn't my best. Obviously, my best intent. Obviously, what's best for me wasn't his best intention. He wanted. He was a fucking prick. Always has been. Um, so I just wanted to point that out. So I was trying to, and then so the cops come over and they're like, da, 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 is everything okay? I'm like, clearly, I'm fine. I'm not gonna kill him. I felt hurt, and nobody seems to care that I am. They all think it's in my head because they don't want to admit to the fact that they're doing what they're doing. Come to they can admit it, but they don't want to have to. Their subconscious does not want them to face that my dad fucked up, and they're all following him, ignorant, or naive, or aware, and just douchebags themselves, because they're too afraid to admit that they are not good people. So when I told the officers, my dad was, I'm like, no, I'm fine, I'm not gonna hurt anybody. But my dad and I are like been fighting a lot lately, because I found out he was catfishing me. Not one eyebrow, not what, like that, not one, nothing. Nobody reacted to that information. Thought that was extremely weird. For the longest time. Then, they're like, we're gonna have to take you to the hospital. And I was like, okay, well, because they're like, you said it, and we're you're gonna leave now, right? We're gonna have to take you. So I was like, okay, I know, because I know Baker Act, Plus, I wasn't gonna fight. I know I'm clearly of sound mind. Clearly, it is them that I have an issue with. I'm trying to get out of a situation where I feel stuck in, and I'm trying to get out of a hostile environment the only way I know how. It's not that I'm of ill mind. I'm of sound mind around ill mind people. Very sick individuals. So, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so they left on vacation, and didn't even extend the invitation to me. Almost as if they wanted what was gonna happen to happen. Oh, did I mention the character was a villain? So, my writing notebook of the character the character breakdown and the character development section, it was a villain. It wasn't like, So, and that is the only reason, that missing page was the only reason. And my grandmother, she goes like this, because fucking my dad, this is one good thing about my dad, is saying what he did, me being confused as fuck all the time, is I was always in my head. So I break down everything that always happened. Like, I have really obsessed with memory. I have a really good memory, I guess. Yeah. But I break everything down, and I'm not even because there's different types of memory. There's auditory, there's visual, there's emotional, and then, oh, yeah, fuck. So I remember my grandmother was like, oh, what's that over there? My, writing journal. I was like, oh, that's my writing journal. Fucking idiot. It says it right on the top of it. So, what was I saying? Then, oh yeah, so I was about to kill myself, and I was in the bathtub, all my clothes on, and I had the cutter in one hand, and then I was about to go cut my wrist this way, to make sure water filled, obviously, and because that's important. Never mind, I'm not going to go there. But I would make sure it would have happened because of the certain elements that involved in a certain way I would have done it in the bathtub. Because even in the bathtub doing it, So, basically, so you see people cause it. If you do it open, yeah, you might survive. They might be able to sew you back up. If you do it in the bathtub, because the water is going to make shit like fucking run like crazy, you're fine. Like, and bathtub, if you do it like this, it won't. So as a bathtub, you have to do it. You have to do it right. So, but nobody should kill themselves, because if they kill themselves, it's because somebody else. No animal just fucking kills themselves. Only humans do that. That's because nature is not. You're not supposed. Why would nature create something that's supposed to kill themselves? They're not. It's something that's happened through other people in the environment. It's always other people that make other people kill themselves. It's never anybody's fault. Never, but depression, none of that. That's fucking bullshit. It's always somebody else's fault that makes people kill themselves. Always. Or an accident that's just labeled mass suicide because it's embarrassing. But that's here or there. I don't know if that might be the case, but there's a possibility. So the possibility is I have to leave every possibility open as a truth. So that's when I for some miraculous reason, everything connected in that second. And in that second, my whole family died to me. It was like as if everybody was in a car accident and they died. They thought I was that person. That means they didn't know me at all. Which I understand why they didn't, because I was always in my head. And I was always in my head because of what my dad said. So everything is his fault. But what hurt most was I took so much time to know them and they didn't know me at all. But that's when I realized everything. At that moment, I realized that why I was the way I was. And I was never going to let that, I took it my personal mission that I was this close there was a timeline where that didn't happen and I died. I know somewhere I died. That day, a part of me died. Not only that, but it's hard to say, it's hard to really like explain when my innocence died that day. So I knew I was never going to let that happen to anybody again, or do everything I can because I thought, how many times has this happened? How many times has this happened to somebody because of the ones they love didn't love them as much as they thought they did? Because they always put them first. That they always tried to understand what it was like to be them. So they thought, man, if they think that, then I don't know why, but there must be something wrong with me. I must be broken. But nature would never have anything create something that was broken just so it would kill itself. Maybe nature would find a way to strong, or the fit, or whatever the fittest, whether Darwin's survival of the fittest. Okay, that's nature causing things to die. There's no reason why nature would create something to want to kill itself. That is against evolution in itself. So, I knew, and I couldn't, how much further humanity would have been if all the times people killed themselves, if people will realize that it wasn't them, that it was the other people in their lives that made them not understand. So then I started getting my shit. I started mutiny. So I've been working on mutiny, because mutiny, I was like, okay, how am I gonna make sure this doesn't happen? Because I can tell this story. I know if I tell this story, I can make the difference. That's all that's needed to be done. Tell a story. If I can save one life that was on the verge of killing itself, that's enough. So all I need to do is tell the story. But how am I gonna get people to tell the story? By doing mutiny and creating a brand. And that's like an hour. I've been talking for an hour. So that's why everything is the way, or why everything's the way it is. Yeah. This is Christian, wishing you a better tomorrow, and us all a greater future.